What you can expect today. You can expect a highly interactive session that is also incredibly experiential. So be prepared to participate. Pay attention to any stress that you may have in your forehead. Make your eyes go heavy as lead. Feel the stress in your face and your jaws melting. Let your lower jaw drop just a little bit so it separates from the upper jaw. Feel the tension in your shoulders and let it melt. Let it run down your arms as Mother Earth invites your tension. Be with your breath. Feel how easily it goes in and comes out without any effort. Feel your heart beating inside your chest in a rhythm for which you never have to ask. So what we've just done is centered ourselves. We have brought ourselves to this moment. And if you start out your Mondays in your bed when you wake up, you could do this without the music. It will, I promise you, it will be the best start to your days. Because you love data, I want to show you the scientific proof behind what you just did. What it did through your prefrontal cortex, especially the medial prefrontal cortex, where your executive functions are centered, where your focus, your attention, your peace is centered right here. The topics we're going to talk about. Stress. But men and women process it very differently. We'll touch on that. We'll talk about, of course, participate in a lot of laughter. And you know what's curious here? Can anyone tell me what's the most curious thing between these two people? The teeth. Who said that? All right. Here's a projectile coming your way. Now, the more curious thing is the teeth that come in first leave last. Come first. Actually, they go out first too, don't they? First in, first out. FIFO. What causes stress in your life? I'm sorry? Work. We all have bad hair days. How many here have bad hair days? All right, I got a bad hair day today. Look at my hair. Looks terrible. But the best of us do. I mean, it's just, there are no exceptions. Everybody has bad hair days, right? Stress is actually good for us, as long as it doesn't become a habit. How many of you like to dig your nails into squeezy balls? There we go. See, now we've got 1, we got 2 over the camera, we got 3. There we go. Mia, here's 3 more. On this side, the problem is that this is your sympathetic system, and it's not very sympathetic to you. And things start to go a little crazy, which we'll touch on. But one little ripple that started with the phone turns into many little ripples of your day, and before you know it, you are in a storm. Right? Sounds familiar? I need a couple of volunteers. Who's afraid of public speaking? All right, who wants to step out of the stage? Somebody who's afraid of public speaking. I'm not going to ask you to speak, I promise. What I'd like you to do as you're walking up is become conscious of what you're feeling. Become conscious of your heart rate. Become conscious of your breath, the energy in your legs, your motions, your mouth, if it's getting dry. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. These are for you, just so you can hang on to them. It's actually good for stress to hold on to something. Okay. I said I'm not going to ask you to speak, but I think I've changed my mind. 10 seconds each. 10 seconds each. Just be conscious of what you're feeling. This is really, really important. What I'd like Jocelyn and Astrid to do is tell the audience, what did you feel physiologically, and what was going through your mind? Were you feeling hot? Was your mouth dry? Was your heart racing? Were you, in fact, breathing hard? Jocelyn.
Shaking.
Shaking.
Can feel my heart rate. Hard time breathing. And I can tell that my face gets red.
Face gets red.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Astrid.
Shaking, my hands sweat, get really clammy. I too feel like you get really flushed and heart.
Really flushed and the
Counts.
heart races. Thank you. I really appreciate you having the courage. Let's give them a big, big round of applause here. And for answering those questions, you actually get something else. It's a cruel world, mug. A cruel, A-C-C-R-U-A-L. A cruel world. Okay? I'm not being cruel to her. And the other is the definition of an accountant. The person in any business enterprise most likely to know what is actually going on and least likely to be able to do anything about it. What was going on there? The 4 F's of stress response. When we get stressed, our brain is literally on fire. Reality, as Adam's mother thought, can be very different than our perception. And that can completely shift the paradigm for you. What you think is real may not be. I'd like you to look at the next 2 pictures, but I'd like you to focus on your first instinct, on what you see. The very first instinct on what you see. Here's the first one. Do you see a young lady with a feather in her hair and a scarf? Or do you see a witch with her hair covered up and a shoulder scarf? How many see the young, fair lady with a feather in her hair? How many of you see the witch? A couple of them. How many of you see the front face of the man? How many of you see the profile of the man? The way you see the world is how you shape your reality. This is one of the biggest lessons of managing stress. Shifting your lens, the reality will shift. Allowing yourself to see possibilities that don't exist will allow you to see the world in a different way. So, if your brain is on fire, you could shift that lens and go to a place where you're at peace. That's going to be the focus of our discussion. How do you get to the peace? Stress is very personal though, right? I don't have one answer for any of you. But it is important for us to become vulnerable. There is a woman by the name of Brené Brown. Anyone know Brené Brown? Rising Strong. She's a researcher, a psychologist at the University of Texas. She's written incredible number of books around vulnerability and how to make that a strength. What I'm going to give you is my story. That's me in 7th grade. This is my best friend, Como. That is my first crush. CRHN is not her name. It means I just cannot remember her name. I created a change equation. Change is something that can be intentional and, in fact, can be something that you expect. And it can be good, or it can be unexpected, and it can be bad. Now, if it's good and expected, makes you happy. Right? Change occurred, but you expected it, and the results were good. But if it's unexpected and good, like you win a lottery, you say you're lucky. And if, in fact, it is expected and bad, it makes you sad or anxious. And if it is bad and unexpected, guess what? This is where my father thought he was all the time. This is the fallacy we all engage in. We think that the way our life is today will continue to be like that in the future. Unfortunately, that slice of cheesecake that you had on Thanksgiving that is still rumbling around somewhere inside you came from a pie like this that was beautifully decorated. But at times when you start to take these slices off, if that's your life and different parts of your life, slices come out like this. And you say, my God, what did I do to deserve that? It was such a beautiful life, such a beautiful pie. And look what I've got now, a mess of these slices. Because we thought we were in control.
When a bowl is broken in Japan, it's put back together with the cracks being filled with gold, creating a beautiful lining. This is to emphasize the beauty in what was once broken. They believe that when something has suffered damage and has a history, it makes it more beautiful. And the same goes for human beings. Everything that you've been through, everything that you're going through, doesn't make your life uglier, although it may seem that way when we're going through it. It's up to us to choose to paint our struggles with gold and make it beautiful. You are not broken beyond repair. You can pick yourself up and learn from what's happened and become a better person from it because of the struggle that you've been through. You can wear your scars proudly as a badge of honor, as if to say, look at what I've been through.
This is an important part of vulnerability that I wanted to share with you, because the concept of adverse childhood experiences is in fact very, very prevalent. It is considered to be the largest public health crisis not talked about. In this room, 66% of us have gone through at least one adverse childhood experience. Roughly 22 to 25% of us, if you look around the room, people who are sitting next to you may have gone through 4 or more. And they have shaped who we are today. They have shaped how we see the world. Number one is the most scientific study ever done on reducing stress. Live an efficient life. This is where we're going to do a little bit of an experiential exercise. And here's all that you have to do. All I'd like you to do is I'm going to play a very simple sound or sets of sounds. And all you have to do is listen to carefully as many sounds as you can. It's very similar to the exercise that Buddhist monks, especially in Tibet, do. Here you go. Try to close your eyes and hear every sound. Imagine you're sitting on the patio with a cup of hot chocolate, and it's raining outside, and deep in the forest, the birds are singing. What it does is it allows your sympathetic system to actually sleep and the parasympathetic system to wake up, which increases the oxygen flow in your body. It increases the length of time between your heartbeats. It reduces your blood pressure. It, in fact, creates certain hormones in your body that start to put you into this dream state. All right, how many people know this young woman on the screen? She's the most prominent African-American ballet dancer. Misty Copeland. Who said that? Misty Copeland. All right, so Jen, I give you the singing bowl. How about that? This is who? Yo-Yo Ma. Just remember those two faces. This one and that one. Who is this? Mihali. Oh gosh, I have no idea how to pronounce that last name. That guy, Mihali. He's the guy who's doing a lot of research on positive psychology. He coined the term flow. How many of you have read the book Flow? If you haven't, you must read it, because it is the concept that we all are seeking, are chasing, being in flow. And I have several examples to walk you through. Flow is engaging in an activity just for its own sake. Laugh a little. This is a challenge to you all. All right, so we're going to create these chemicals in your body: serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphin, all the things that make you feel good. But the next thing that we're going to talk about is the most prominent thing being researched today, called gratitude. How many of you have done a heart meditation for gratitude? One person. We're going to do a 30-second meditation, which really is the simplest thing you can do every morning when you get up. So I invite you to close your eyes and place your hand on your heart. And we're going to do another exercise for 30 seconds. Write down 3 things 5 things in the last 24 hours that you are thankful for. As many things as you'd like. Be specific as you can be. 3 things to 5 things that you're thankful for in the last 24 hours. It could be someone who opened the door for you, a clerk at the grocery store who was kind to you, the cup of coffee you had this morning, how hot and delicious it was. Anything that you're thankful for. We've got some gratitude journals for those who got 10 that are being passed around right now that allow you to write these thank you notes every day. Research has shown 3 things every night that you write will allow you to, in fact, be happier when you wake up. How many of you would like to win a lottery? Guess what? I got 3 lottery tickets. Drawing is on the 29th. Real tickets. How many of you would like to just write a gratitude journal? Okay, quickly, who wants to win the lottery? Oh my God, see more hands come up now, they know I have lotteries. It's 163 million, so you get 1 ticket. Now on one condition, you share the winnings with me. I'm serious. Here's the problem with winning a lottery in gratitude. Oh, I'm just gonna give this to you anyway. And guess what? Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and LeBron James have in common? Meditation. Mindfulness. That's what George Mumford taught them. And as soon as he came on board, they started winning all kinds of stuff. So the evidence of being in flow and utilizing meditation to do that is in fact all around you. What I want to show you is what was happening in your brain when you were closing your eyes and you were listening to the words and following the directions of losing this tension. Finally, number 10. The most important thing, children do not have egos. Children under 2 or 3 do not have an ego. They don't have a sense of self. So they have a sense of wonder that if you in fact look at the world differently, the things you look at change. Wayne Dyer said that. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Close your eyes, don't worry about who's watching.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Come on. Let me see some movement here. Apple bodies and pear bodies, it's all good.